Good.
Yeah, you're looking good.
Allow us at Eddie B Productions to capture, create, and celebrate all of your greatest moments. Let us turn your joy into memories that will last forever. As we remember our beloved Eddie Blick Jr., the very reason we do it all, we aim to put a smile on your face and also your heart. Whether a birthday party, wedding planning, organizing an event, or photography, we can service all your needs. You can follow us on Instagram at Eddie B Productions, email us at eddie_productions93 at outlook.com, or call us at 410-303-0101 for all your event planning, decoration, fun, and photography needs. We look forward to working with you.
Well, hi, hello, hello, hello. It's your host. Today is Thursday, and this is LaQuita Parks, and I am your host for the power of your story. And listen, I am super excited, and I know every single week I say I'm super excited, and I am always excited because I love people, I love talking to people, and I love hearing their stories. And I'm super excited because I have a young man here today who has he has really impressed me. And if I sound tongue tied, it's because I am. He has really impressed me with his energy, just so powerful. And I appreciate him for coming on. His name is Right Reasons, and he's going to talk about that today. But I'm your host. I'm LaQuita Parks, and I am the CEO and founder of Pay-Per-V Publishing. And Pay-Per-V is pain, progress, victory, because I believe without pain, there's no progress. And without progress, there can be no victory. So I help people take their stories from a thought to a realization. 100% of everybody, living and dead, has a story. 100%. Everybody has a story. Now, not everybody will take the time to share their story. Not everybody will take the time to write their story in a book. Not everybody will take the time to just say, hey, let me tell you about me. But when you do, know that you are helping a multitude of people. Everything that happens to us is not for us. It's for us to share and help other people to overcome. Because guess what? There's somebody who has been where you are, and there's somebody who is on the other side. They're trying to get through, and they don't know that they can get through. They don't know that there's another side. And your story can help them cross that bridge. So, without further ado, I am going to let Right Reasons, I love that reasons, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell us who you are, tell us where you're from, and then I have got to hear the name behind the name. So, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on the show. Come on. I know y'all see me looking up here. They like this man looking like he just that's my attention face. So I want to make sure I don't miss nothing. So don't be in the comments playing with me, talking about leave me alone. All right, let me do my vibe and y'all do y'all vibe. You get the typing and let me do the talking. All right, so um shout out to everybody that's tuning in, that's not tuning in, that's gonna see this. So if you're late, hey, how you doing? You made it. You made it. If you're not here, I ain't got no words for you. I ain't you missing out. Listen, so I go by the name of Right Reasons. I am from Gulfport, Mississippi. Currently, I'm mostly a photographer. I'm a graphic designer, a spoken word artist, a motivational speaker, and currently, right now, I am a interviewee. So that's what we're that's what
I
we're
like
doing. So the name Right Reason. Let me go ahead and spell that. Um, so of course I did tell y'all that I'm a spoken word artist. So of course I write reasons, right? Boom. But the three is very important. And the I that's actually in the right part of my name is supposed to be a pen with an ink splash. Now the pen with the ink splash is that's one of the reasons I write, which the ink splash is the blood shed from those that I lost in love of those that had to that had to suffer for other people just so they could become an example or whatever the case is for somebody else. They're one of the reasons I write. The other reason is for my family members. Three people that I lost in love, they are also a reason that I write. Three times that I almost lost my life, whether it was taking my own life, whether I almost got killed, or whether it was to the justice system. I was supposed to get 45 years mandatory when I was younger, 15,
Wow.
16 years old, and almost lost my life to the system. That is another reason why I write. And I want to always make sure that I'm doing things for the right reasons, not prideful, not for fame, not for anything like that, not for money, but I want to make sure and continuously do everything for the right reasons. So that explains the name.
Wow, I love that. Talk
Also,
about
the Father,
purpose.
Son, and the Holy Spirit. Sorry
You
about
better
that.
say it. You better say it. I absolutely love that. Listen, so we this is the first time we've seen each other face to face. Well,
Right, right.
through the
Besides PTR.
technology,
Yeah.
right? And we met in on Clubhouse in a room, and I do a room on Thursday mornings called "The Power of Your Story." And my co-host and I, Karen O'Connor, we come on and we talk to. We have different topics and different aspects about sharing your story. I am serious about helping people share their stories and helping people tell their story because I know how powerful it is. And with my own story of childhood medical trauma, helping people share their stories and even me telling my story has helped me tremendously. And when I tell my story, it doesn't mean that whatever my issue or my ailment is has disappeared. It just means that while you're helping people to tell their stories or while you're helping people to do whatever it is you do, you're taking your mind off of you. So when I'm helping somebody, I don't know the pain. So a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be in pain, chronic pain for 48 consecutive years. So that's my story. I don't know a day without pain. I've walked in pain since I was 4 years old. I will be 53 in October. And a lot of people can't phantom that. They can't, when you think of pain, it's like, oh, I hurt my arm, I broke my leg and it's healing, it rains and I get the pain. Or I'm walking and I fell and I cut my knee, scrape my leg, got a headache. They don't understand when I say pain 24/7. I wake up in pain, I go to bed in pain. In the night, I'm in pain. In the morning, I'm in pain. Pain dictates how long I stay in the shower. So people don't understand that. So for me, and I have people all the time say, LaQuita, how do you do it? Well, it's because when I'm helping other people, when I'm talking to you and I'm having a conversation, I can't feel my pain because that's not what I'm focused on. And whatever we focus on is that's where our attention goes. So when I focus on what I'm doing, then that's a reprieve from my pain for me. So I love helping people and I'm serious about that. And when I can't do it, it makes me feel some kind of way. So when you came into the room, the first day when you came into the room, I was like, and I wish that you could see the faces. I don't know about you, but and you probably get this all the time, but the energy in the room, I could feel the energy in the room and I couldn't see the faces because your story was so powerful. And when you were talking, I'm like, you had everybody, you had the whole crowd's attention. And I loved it because I was like, number one, oftentimes men don't share. They don't share to the extent that you shared. And you know that. And so when you came in and you shared your story and ministered, because that's what you ministered to that room, and I am grateful because it was very, very beneficial for me. So thank you for that. So y'all, that's how we met. I just kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's how we met. And I wanted him to be here today because number one, he's a young man, and he's not a young man that has not been through some things. And he has made the choice to reinvent himself and keep going in spite of some of the situations and circumstances he may have encountered. So let's talk about that. I love the reason behind the name. You told me that there was a story behind the name. I love the reason behind the name. So tell us what you said that you shared some things with us about your background. Do you want to share? You want to share some things with us
I'm
now?
here to share whatever it is that you have. Throw me some questions or
So
direction, and I'll go there.
So tell us a little bit about your background. So you shared a story that you didn't know your real mom. You didn't know the woman your dad was married to was not your real mom for a while.
Right.
So share that part, that piece of the story. We got time. We got a whole hour, y'all.
All right. So before I get into that, I definitely, I'm not sure if she's watching, but to my fiance, Destiny, I love you, baby. I don't know if you're watching this or not, but salute to
That's so
you.
sweet. Hey,
I love
Destiny.
you, girl. I
Hey,
know, I know she watching because she just so supportive. So I love you. You hear me?
awesome,
Do you hear
awesome.
me, girl? All right. I love you, girl. Hit that
And
like
you
button for
got
me, though.
you get ready to be a little. You got a little bundle of joy coming too, right?
Yeah, Malachi
Malachi.
Joseph, he's on the way.
Yes,
Yeah,
congratulations.
thank you.
Congratulations. I'm so
Um,
excited for you. Congratulations.
so when I share this story with you all, what I want you to do is I want you to really consider your own life. Like use my story as a template. Okay. That's what that's all I'm requesting for everybody today because your story is not mine, but you've been through some stuff too. So let's not play games today. Let's be transparent with ourselves and let's be honest
That's
and
right.
let's use my story as a blueprint. I'm gonna go deeper than you probably have gone before. I'm gonna not you specifically,
I
but
got
to the
you.
people listening, and I'm
Got
going to go places and pockets that a lot of people don't go because if I can share my story as transparent as I can, then you should be able to share it too because I'm only on earth for a little while. I'm 29. The life expectancy of a black male is it's not that long. Let's just I'm halfway there. Let the statistics tell it. So I have to get this out. I have to. So growing up, 7 years old, is and the reason why I always start at that part of my story because some people are like, well, where am I supposed to start if you ask me? I start there because for me, that's where I came into the knowledge of my emotions or different things or being confused by what was going on. That's the first time I felt confusion. The age of 7 years old, where I'm noticing that my dad is packing a bag for me and this lady, all I remember is this burgundy van pulling up and I remember her bumping music. My mom was a DJ. I didn't know this for a long time, but she was a DJ and was really good at it. Matter of fact, I get my taste of music from my mother. She's fire. Like I'm no lying. Like just to I want to give her some accolades because I'm not speaking from a hurt place. So I do want to go ahead and give her her flowers in this aspect. Taste for music, fire. I grew up listening to a lot of chill music, but a lot of music that was chill, but it challenged me, like Erica Badu. So I listened to a lot of the stuff she's saying, a lot of them. So it just kind of always chilled my soul. Music kept me in a calm place. I remember this burgundy van pulling up, and I remember this lady getting out of the car, and I just weird to me. I'm thinking that she's just kind of like a customer because my stepmom, who I thought was my mother at the time, who was married to my dad, she had a candy store and she just did all type of stuff. Sold candles, oils. That lady was amazing. My daddy, hustler, worker, welder. I'm talking about between both of them, they was just a power couple, just amazing, great examples. Uh, and when I'm hearing that we finna go stay with my mother, I'm like, what you talking about? Mama in the room, you know what I mean? She right there, you know. So what you mean? We finna go to another house and we gonna elope there? So I'm like, what are we doing? And he's like, no, this is your mom. I'm confused. It's me and my sister, and we pack a bag and we end up going to stay with my mom. Now let me tell you this: the first week, it don't take long to really know somebody when you have to spend a certain amount of consecutive time with an individual. Um, People will tell you who they are, whether you don't say anything or they'll judge you off of your first sentences. And one of the first things out of her mouth was, I know y'all not used to a lot of stuff, but we gonna get that straight now. Like, no, hey, how you doing? I've been gone. Like, I missed y'all. I just wanna do, she was on drugs. Her childhood was hard as well. She went through a lot of things. Uh, don't really too much want to share her testimony unless it really gets to a point in the story where I feel the need to say it because that's her testimony, that's her story.
Right.
I want to
Right.
really kind of stick with mine and how I felt and how I felt and how I came to where I'm at. So staying with her, the situation got abusive really quick, physically abusive, and I mean abusive, not to the point to where I was doing something, I broke something, or I did something, and it caused for us to be punished. No, 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 no. I mean, getting angry at somebody else and lashing out on us, putting their hands on us, not with things or not with her hand or something like a belt. No, with stuff like metal shower curtain rods, just very graphic things. And it wasn't a stoppage point until it was blood everywhere. Like, I'm talking about the heel part of a high heel shoe into your head. I still have
Wow.
scars
Wow.
in my head from, or um, even with the metal shower curtain rod, like hitting you like on your bones, like on your kneecap or different ankles or whatever the case, to the point to where when you go to school you can't sit down, or teachers are asking you what's going on and you scared to say anything because if I do say something, then what happens with me and my brothers and my sisters? We're split up. It's three of us, so now we all go and live somewhere else, or now, whatever the case is, I don't want to go through that. And I'm very close to my sister at the time, very sensitive, very emotional about a lot of things that's going on in my life. And I just get to the point where I'm like, we was with our mom so long. I'm like, where's my dad? Like, what happened? He didn't want me no more. What happened? So just fast forward a little bit, it got to a point where my relationship with my dad just split. I didn't care for him anymore. I didn't, and he never did me wrong. It's just that thought, why would you leave me in this type of condition if you was a good father? Why would you do that? Like what happened? Like what did I do to you? What did we do to you to cause this? And I didn't know until this year, which I still want to stay in the backwards of the story, but I had a talk with my stepmother this year about a lot of the things that happened in my childhood and why those things had to happen. And I thank God for them because it was lined up perfectly for it to happen this way. So from the age of 7 all the way to 7 all the way to the age of 10, I dealt with it consistently on a daily basis. I literally thought I was going to die. Like, literally, I thought that I was going to die. And 10 years old was the first time that I actually ran away from home. I said, I can't do this no more. I'm gone. I left. I had no shirt on, no shoes, no socks, pants. That's it. I took off. I just had to go. I had to get away. And I said, before I die at the hand of somebody that said, are supposed to love me, I'd rather die at the hands of the street. What's the difference? What's the difference? I'd rather die by the hands of somebody that I don't know than live with somebody every day and I'm just gonna get woken up, beaten by something. You could clean the house totally perfect and it's still not perfect enough. That's stressful for a child from the age of 7 to 10 years old to be beaten unto perfection, or to still be confused or not get to ask questions or not go through things, or when it's time to have certain talks in life when you're going through puberty, you can't have those. So you're confused, you don't know what's going on. You feel like it's wrong for you to be a normal child. It's wrong for you to play. It's wrong for you to talk to your siblings in the house. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Anything you're doing is wrong. There's no room for mistakes. I became a perfectionist. I understood in my life, even to this day, it's drilled into me that everything that I do, it has to be done a specific, certain way. If not, and it's not good enough, I'm disappointed. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I don't want to do it no more. I quit. I can't do it. I'm gonna go find something that's easy enough for me to do that I can just conquer quickly. And that's not the life for anybody. I feel like we need these complexities, we need challenges, we need difficulties, we need tests, we need trials, because that's going to make us stronger. It's going to make us more strategic. It's going to make us better developers, innovators, creative. It's gonna make us.
That's gonna make us. That's right.
So 10 years old, I run away from home, and to survive, what I started doing was I started breaking into houses. I was breaking into houses because I just really wanted something to eat. Not making an excuse for it, but that was my reason for breaking into houses. I saw a window of opportunity. I slid into it, and I would go take what I wanted. It's so embarrassing. The first time I got caught, I was 10, and they caught me with a sandwich. They used that as evidence. It was one of the most embarrassing things
Wow.
ever. And when you get locked up and you 10 and you a juvenile detention center, and people are challenging you and they say, what you in here for? I'm in here for stealing the sandwich. breaking into a house, and I didn't realize at that age how serious my charges were because I only stayed locked up for a day and they let me out back home because I was so young. They
Mm-hmm.
let me go. So when I figured that, hey, I didn't die, a lot of people made it seem like living on the streets was a horrible thing. It was so hard. So I kind of became addicted to running away. I would run away from home. I became good at it. I would get to the point where I would run away from home for at least 3 to 6 months at a time.
Wow.
Nobody knew where I was. I would hide out with friends, family. They would hide me. Whatever. I started doing illegal things. I became a professional housebreaker renter until they caught me for a lot of charges. I started robbing people. Started robbing drug dealers. I started robbing anybody that looked like they had what I needed. And it just turned me into like this rebel, like the one sweet, innocent kid that I used to be that just wanted love and hugs from mommy and daddy just became just this burglar, this thug, this person that just became being printed on papers, posted in different stores, or because people are looking for a child that ran away or they think went missing, or to their knowledge they feel like it's dead because they didn't find me within a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I remember sleeping outside using my shoe for a pillow when I didn't have a place. I remember just sleeping in the graveyard. I remember breaking into the baseball field skybox to have a place to sleep. I didn't go to school for a long period of time. When I did go to school, I didn't act right. It just really got tragic. Got to the point where it got so bad with me and me being just hard headed and just not wanting to do what I was told. But I really wanted to make sure that I ruined her life, her reputation forever. That was my goal. That was my goal. You would have put your hands on me. I'll make sure that you're a spectacle amongst the whole community. When people hear my name, then they attach it to you. I'll make sure that it's nothing but horrible things.
Wow.
Not me thinking I'm destroying her life or her reputation. I'm really destroying mine. I'm
Wow.
destroying mine,
And
and I
you
get
were 10, you had this thought at 10.
most definitely. I mean, you grow up fast when you're forced to
Yeah.
act as an adult. When you have
Yeah.
to take care of like my little brother, my little sister. Like we took care of them, not my mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had to take care of a lot of things, and it just forced us to get to a space to where we were adults, we were grown, we were cooking full blown meals, we was doing chores, we was our credit was being used first of all, so we didn't even get an opportunity to learn anything about that because it was being destroyed. We had no chance to learn, but just so many different things like just pushed us to a space to where I felt like we had to be an adult. Um,
So
it's
how
just
did you
mind blowing.
so right, every time you ran away and you were gone for all those months, you ended up going back home because they found you?
No, I didn't end up going back home. Like
Or you
nine
never
times out of ten, it always ended up with me going back to juvenile detention center, so for a
okay.
crime, which I was happy with. Like, and I know this sounds crazy, but I rather have been locked up in jail than go live in my mother's house. Like that's how. You ever heard somebody say that before? I would rather be locked up because I knew one thing. At least I wasn't on the streets, but I wasn't being abused either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind fighting him because I got them hands. We can box all day, but I don't want to have to put my hand on her, but she's gonna kill me. Just let me go. I'm gonna get my meals. I got a place to sleep. I'm good. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to the point to where like the charges caught up to me, and I'm gonna tell you, it got crazy after Hurricane Katrina because our roof fell in Mississippi. We ended up moving to West Palm Beach, Florida. Now this is the point in my life where I really became a dangerous individual. I became a very dangerous person. When we moved to West Palm Beach, Florida, a lot of people, what you see on TV, you see Florida being a vacation spot. It's beautiful, the beaches, the palm tree. It go down in Florida.
Mm. I
It go
didn't.
down. That gang culture in Florida is serious. It's real. It's real up there. And being 13, 14 years old in West Palm Beach, Florida, oh, the gangs are very accepting of you. They can't wait for you to be family. And when I became a part, like I ran away in Florida. I knew I was bold then. I ran away from home in Florida, and I didn't even know nobody down there. I didn't know where I was going. I ended up getting court ordered to go to a runaway center uh, down in Florida, and that's where I met a couple of guys, that I ended up joining the Gangster Disciples with down there, uh, and I had fun. It was amazing. That was family because I never really had a sense of like people that wanted to know how I felt. Or somebody said, "What to you?" They did what, and they had my back. It was like I finally felt like I was in a space to where I had family. Like I really have people that genuinely got my back, and they don't play about me, and I ain't gonna play about them either. They teaching me these signs. We got handshakes. Oh, it's love. They giving me money. They making sure I'm eating. I got a place to sleep, whatever. And it was up. And the same day that I joined the organization was the same exact day that I lost my older brother.
Mm.
We was riding in the car. I'm sitting in the back seat. He's in the passenger seat, and his homie is driving the car, and we pull up at the traffic light, and they shoot up the car that we in,
Wow.
and pull up and shoot up the car that we in. I passed out. I know that now, but at the time, I thought that I was dead. I thought I got shot. I thought it was over with. I'm the
Wow.
only one that survived in the car.
Wow. And that's for the one of the three times
Mhm.
in the three with the three in. Okay. Okay. Oh wow. Wow. Wow.
And
Wow.
that's a two for one because I lost my brother, and I thought I lost myself.
Wow. Wow.
Um, get to the point to where I leave from there. I go through everything. I'm traumatized, so I can't really answer police questions. I can't really. I don't know what's going on. To my knowledge, this is just what it is. It's whatever. I go back home with my mother. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I didn't talk for a long time. I'm speechless for a long time. And if I'm being honest, this is the first time I actually told this story to anybody. This is the first time I actually told this story to anybody, live, be it anywhere, not even at a youth event. Just so scared to tell this story because I never knew how it would impact me or affect me just telling the story. But now I feel like everything in my life, I just try to speak from a healed place because I want people to be helped. And somebody's son is out there, somebody's child is out there, somebody's grandson is out there, or whatever, somebody's nephew, somebody, whatever is out there. You feel like it's no hope for them. But in the hopes of me telling my story is that you can be changed as well, or it's hope for them as well. That situation happened. I end up my mother. She don't want to deal with me no more. She shipped me back to Gulfport, Mississippi, with my dad. So I come back down here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm totally transformed. So whoever my daddy thought I was before I left when I was 7, I'm not that anymore.
Not that.
I'm a gangster disciple now. I'm feared. People don't play with me like that. I can like I got my own mindset, and it's kind of a mature one, but it's also like I'm an enforcer, so that's what I always was. I was always somebody that was good at enforcing laws, or I stopped people dead in their tracks if they was disrespectful. I never allowed people to disrespect older people, and I never allowed people to play with younger people like that. Like pick, I always been the force them out or pick on somebody your own size. So when I came back to Gulfport, it was a lot of stuff that they wasn't doing down here in Mississippi that they wouldn't have put up with in Florida. So when I came down here, I started putting people in their place. Like I start fighting everybody. I start kind of just I was a dog. Like I just went and I know to I keep taking this breaks from it. I know people like if you watching this, you looking at me and you like, man, you ain't do none of that because I look like it. And I'm gonna tell you this, looks can be deceiving. It's some of the people that ain't got no facial hair, no nothing to look like that that'll kill you dead. It's some of the people that look like geeks and nerds that'll really smoke your boots. It's the people that look tough, is the people that's running the fastest. It's the people that's the quietest when they get in a room full of goons. I'm telling you what I know. It's some of the biggest people that get the quietest and that really can't do nothing. They can just talk. They can just talk. They look the. I'm telling you, people feared me. People did not play with me. If you said my name, people knew not to play with me because I'll make an example out of you really quick. My anger, my temper was really fast. It was up there. Like once I get on you, it's up. It's up. And I didn't even have to do something a lot of times because there was so many people around me that had loyalty and respect for me that they'll go ahead and touch you before I even had to put my hands on you or say anything to you. I wasn't a person of many words. Surprisingly, I talk a lot now. I was not a man of many words. I was very antisocial, and I was in my thoughts a lot. In my thoughts a lot. And when I came back home to my dad, like it just got to a point to where he could not deal with me from that. Now he really kind of had me from the ages of 10 to 17 because when I was going through the juvenile detention center, he would always come get me, or he would bring me home, then send me back to my mama, or he would try to talk sense into me, but it wasn't going. It got to the point to where I built up so many charges. By the time I turned 15, I had 7 armed robbery charges, 2 burglary charges, an arson charge, and a murder charge by the time I was 15 years old.
Wow.
Fact check me. And
Wow.
that's for anybody that's looking at me. You don't believe me. Anybody in Mississippi that can tell you the reason why people book me so much for motivational speaking or for mentoring is because they actually know me, and they knew me then and they know me now. They know me. Like, people know I'm not playing. I don't have time for games. I ain't for to sit on here and get on here and cap with you. I don't have time for that. I was really somebody like to be feared. Now, when I went to the county jail and I'm being tried as an adult at the age of 15 and 16 for murder, and scratch the murder, the arson alone carries anywhere from 15 to 30 years in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on robbery, even though I had 7 of those, they can only try you for one. So if you get sentenced, you can't get like, now if one carry like 7 to 10, which that's what burglary carries, 7 to 10. The armed robbery too, depending on how treacherous it was, it's about 10, anywhere between 7 to 15, anywhere between those. But they can't give you like, all right, you got to try for all of these 7, 7, 7, 7. They don't do it like that. You just get tried for all of them
They
with the
combine them.
right. They combine them like that. Thank you. And so with those, it's like I'm not really knowing the severity of none of my charge. I'm not knowing that these people really for the like they not for to play with me. They don't care how old I am. They feel like you in the know it. You know what you're doing. So boom, we gonna treat you like that. You don't get no education. There ain't no class, ain't no school in there where they teach you, all right, this lawyer like this, make sure this is going on. Don't take the plea. The first plea deal they offered me was 45 years mandatory. I'm 16.
Wow. Wow.
And when in the justice system here in Mississippi, all they want is the conviction. If you say if you just plead guilty, we good. We'll throw you a little deal. Just say that you guilty so that we can make it look like in the statistics that we making Mississippi look like a safer place. We cleaning up the streets. It don't matter what you do, shoplifting. Just say you guilty. All they want is the conviction. That's it. They don't care if you 16. They look at an innocent child in the face and they got no facial hair, no nothing, no parents to defend them. For all they care, ain't nobody care about you no way. Throw them away. And even though I didn't get 45 years, I was sitting in the juvenile detention center. I was sitting in the adult detention center with people for 2 to 3 years. That they was taking those juveniles and throwing them away, giving them court appointed attorneys that don't really care. They working along with the people, with the prosecutors. We can both get paid. They throwing these kids' lives away, throwing it away. I'm sitting in there and nothing but the grace of God gets me off of this.
Wow. And I was getting ready to ask, what was the turning point for all that? Because I'm sitting here and I'm listening and I'm hanging on to your every word. And I actually just picked up my phone and just text some people and said, listen, you guys need to tune in. If you're not listening to this show, I know my children are listening. You got to listen to this. There are people, young people. I work with young people all the time who think that, hey, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. You can't tell them anything, but they are also knowing that there are people that don't care about you. It don't matter that you're a child. They want to throw you away. There are people who want to throw you away. They don't want to see you. And if they want to throw you in prison and you rot, that's not their problem. It's not their
Mhm.
problem.
And
So
they
I'm
got a
sitting there
they
and I'm
got a
like, what was the
smooth
turning point, man? What was the turning point? This is amazing.
and they got a smooth system for it too. Like I said, like you in there with all juveniles, it's a dog fight in there, like because you're not in there with people that's being nice to you. You fighting in there. It's still gang culture in there as well. My first time going to prison, where was it? Uh, was it 2000, 2010, either 2000, I know 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 2011. All right. 2000. Give me 1 second because I want to make sure I get
Mhm.
accurate because the internet is undefeated. They'll go figure it out. I don't want to lie. So, and I'm here for you too. So we gonna do the math together. 2000. All right, so boom, between 2007 and 2009, I'm sitting in there and I'm being tried for all of these charges. All right, so I end up going to prison my first time because I've been to prison twice. I ended up going to prison my first time 2000 and 2010. Between 2009, the end of 2009, beginning of 2010, I end up doing like a year and some change. Uh, and when I go, people listen, people be so dramatic. Whatever you see on TV, that's not prison. I just want to go ahead and say that. You be watching all this stuff, that ain't prison. It may be prison in some other prison. Mississippi is one of the worst prisons you could go to in life. It's weird. They don't care. It's nasty. It's filthy. People getting staph infections medically. It's nasty. They stuffing people in places. Imagine a two-bunk cell that's no bigger than your bathroom, and you got 5 inmates in there. Imagine 5 inmates in your bathroom
Wow.
sleeping, and they gotta figure it out. They don't say, "Oh, this is a bunk assignment." You gotta figure it out. You'll
Yeah.
figure it out when you get in there. It's the hygiene is horrible. The food is barely enough to survive on, and it's trash. When you go to prison, though, you graduated. County jail is nice. They nice. When you go to prison, they got bugs walking around in your food because they grow all of their food. They grow and plant all of their food. So the green, you got bugs and stuff walking about it. There, rocks and stuff in your food and all of it. It's nasty. It's treacherous. Not to mention the county jail officers. The officers don't run prison. The warden don't run prisons. The gangs do.
Mm.
That's when you do something wrong, the warden peek his head in there, beat him up.
Wow.
Oh, stab him up. Go, take him to the back. Go get him out of there. Drag him up out of there. People, it's so many young people in there dying is crazy. Now, me, I'm on the safe side, right? Because I go in there and I'm in the game, so I'm good. As soon as I come in, I'm in security. They show me where I'm going. Boom, boom, boom. I ain't gonna walk down the whole system because I don't want them to try to kill me. Y'all, I apologize. I ain't gonna go too far deep into it. I still gotta respect their codes and all of that because they still give me a certain respect and privilege through the mentoring thing because I'm always when I mentor kids, especially boys, I always check to see if they in organizations. I don't ask them. I go check for myself because that helps me to know how to deal with the young men. And whether y'all don't like it or not, I'm gonna be honest with you. The gang culture saved my life when I was in Mississippi prison, and I'm gonna tell you how. When I first went to prison, this is the turning point for me when I go from Devin to Right Reasons. My first time going in there, I'm learning that gang like they actually have a culture and a system to where it's either you gonna die or you gonna follow these rules. When I go in there, it's a young guy. He just turned 18. He gets sent to prison as soon as he turned 18, just like me. I spent a lot of birthdays locked up. I think I've only spent after the age of 10. I only spent before my 20. I only spent one birthday out of jail, out of prison. Other than that, I was locked up for most of my birthdays from the age of 10 all the way to the age of 20. So just one birthday outside of that. Now going in, this young guy coming there, he has rape charges. For those of y'all don't know, if you in a gang, if you go in for rape charges, that's a no go. They won't let you. But he lied about it. He lied about it, and he told them, no, that ain't this and that. Let me tell you something about these gangs. They gonna find out. I don't know how they do it, but they find out what they want to know, and it's facts too. They go get real paperwork, and they found out. And let me tell you, he's no longer here.
Mm.
He's no longer here. And when I don't know why I've been through so much in my life, but that point with he's actually the reason for the ink splash on my pen and my logo. He's the reason for that because you know how in the scripture says he'll leave the 99 to go get the one.
Yeah.
That's the one when I mentor and I'm speaking, that's the one that I always try to get. That one that lost his life in front of my eyes. It's that one. And no matter what, I've mentored so many kids and I never feel satisfied because it's not that exact one.
Mm-hmm.
It's never, but God did that because he would not to say he killed him. I'm saying God allowed me to feel that emotion because he knew that that would give me the drive that I needed to continue with my purpose. Had I not been locked up or in prison at that time, had I not went through what I went through, had I not had a sympathetic heart, I wouldn't feel that way. I wouldn't still be on the mission and drive that I'm on. When I was in prison, I took up for a guy that was supposed to be my cousin. And whatever happened with him, I literally stood in front of him and I almost got stabbed playing with him, only for him to turn his back on me later on in life.
Mm.
Almost got stabbed for somebody. But anyway, prison was crazy. I get out of prison when I turned 20 years old. And my mindset, I want to share this too for some of those because I understand some of you may be dealing with people that just got out of prison. They may just got out of the county jail. Institutionalized is a real thing. When I got out of prison, I didn't know how to talk to people. And it wasn't on purpose. I literally, because when you're in prison, you can't talk to, all right, man, can't, it's just if you, nah. And I say, bro, man, watch out, man. Hey, say, bro, hey, man, hit me that, bro. Or whatever. Or you can't let nobody play. You got to swing. Like, it gets so crazy to the point you don't realize psychologically when you get out how you talking to people when you get out. And it got to the point to where I didn't realize how rough I was talking to people until some of my younger cousins, they would literally break out and start crying because how I was talking to them. I'm hurting people's lives because just of my speech and how I'm carrying myself, or I gotta go in restaurants and sit with my back to the wall and I'm watching all the doors and everything, or I don't trust nobody. I gotta talk to people a certain way, and it's institutionalized. It's a real thing. So I'm telling you, just out of wisdom, like be patient with them, but also help them get the help that they need and make them aware of what they're doing because sometimes they don't know what they're doing. Let them know that you feel some type of way by the way that they talking, and this should help. That's just a commercial break on that. So when I get out when I'm 20 years old, I remember it's 2011, and it get to the point where I ended up going to a halfway house. And what a halfway house is, when you have to get out of prison, they can't hold you no longer, and but you don't have an address to parole out to. They send you to a halfway house, which they'll monitor you while you there. You got to get a job. You pay fees or whatever to stay there, and you basically go through the program until you find you independent enough to go get your own house or do what you need to do. I go there, and I wasn't there a week before I got out, and this older guy, he threatened me like he was trying to kill me or whatever. And I punched him in his forehead. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. You ain't for to sit here and threaten me, this and that. I was a changed man when I got out, but you was playing with me. I punched him in the
You made me
forehead.
go there, right?
I love I had that boy. And I remember like they was finna take me to prison. If I'm backing up, I went to a church that Sunday previously before that happened, and I met this pastor. And this is when I knew that this was about to be a turning point for me in my life. His first question wasn't, "Are you saved?" Now, come on, God. I don't want my two spiritual people to. I want y'all to really catch the wisdom of this. If you wanna really save souls, you got to learn how to be a fisherman. What fisherman just throws his pole in there with no bait on it?
There you go.
He knew what type of situation I was in. His first question to me was, "Can you work?"
Yeah.
He knew that I needed a job, but he also I can't explain it. He was just a wise man. And
I
that's
like
still to
that.
this day.
Can you
That's
work? He
that's
didn't
my
ask you, do
spirit.
you work? He said, can you work?
Can you work?
Can you
That
work? That means
that's
something.
my spiritual father to this day. Like I do a lot of things the same way he do. Just a lot of things, and just he's a man that he's not a perfect man. And I know that because I was his armor bearer for a while. I literally stayed in this man's house. I done been up late nights with him when he went to go help people that was trying to go kill themselves, or that I don't listen. I know a genuine person when I see it. And one person that know people that's genuine more than anybody is people that have been in the streets.
Mhm.
People that have been in the street, when somebody genuine, they got a heart or they trying to play. And this man was genuine. He was a man now, so he'll rough you up like a man too. But he asked me, "Can I work?" I was like, "Ain't no pastor ever asked me that before." You don't want to know if I know the Lord Jesus Christ, bro. And he's like, "Nah, man, I need some help at this church." That man had me working and they got to the point to where he didn't have to force me into it. I built the love for the church so much, and how nice. Listen to what I'm saying, y'all. They wasn't forcing scriptures in me. It was just how compassionate they was towards me. When I was working, they always fed me. I never came out of my pocket to go pay for no meal. He said, if I work a man, feed a man. That's what he said. And he always told me that if you work a man, feed a man. And to this day, I do that. If I ask somebody to do something, if I book somebody or artist, I pay them. I
Absolutely.
pay them. You know, I ain't doing it for the money. I'm gonna pay you anyway. Where's your cash at? Or whatever. And to this day, I have so many values instilled in me that he just never sat down and was like, all right, what you dealing with? But his system pulled it out of me, and I became a man of God without even knowing it.
Mm.
Without even knowing it. I'm sitting in the church and I'm working, but he said, if you're gonna work here, if we're gonna pay you at the church, you gotta come to church. And you ain't got to clap, you ain't got to stand up, you ain't got to
I'll
speak,
be
but you
here.
gonna come to church. He ain't play about that. If you don't come to church, he pull it up. You he at the front door. I just making sure you was gonna be here today. That's all. And I needed that. Listen, I needed that. Church not doing that no more.
Yeah.
Not holding nobody accountable, and they don't feel love. If I can go 3 Sundays without you calling on me, checking on me, texting me, or coming to see where I'm at, I don't belong here.
Exactly. And you know what? You just said I'm sitting here, I'm in awe of your story. And you know, we talked about this. You need a book. And I'm not advertising for me to be the one to publish your book. And I say that in all honesty. It's because there are so many people who won't hear your message, but they'll read it. They don't have access to,
Right.
or they so there are so many different platforms where you make a difference and you need to tell that story. I love that. And you're so right, because I love worship. I love rightly dividing the word. I love being held accountable. I love my brothers and sisters in Christ because they love me and they check on me and they call me and say, "Hey sis, we missed you at worship today." Or when I walk in the door, the elders are saying, "Hey, I'm glad you're here. We're so glad every time you can walk through these doors," because they know my situation. But I am so, you know what, I am so glad that you allow, because it starts with a step. You have to make a choice to turn a different route, to go a different way. I am so glad because of that. I know you now. I've had the opportunity to meet you and to talk to you and to have this conversation. And listen, if you're listening to this live now, or if you do, if you listen back at the replay, if you listen on the Baltimore radio, if you catch this replay on Twitter, if you've caught it live, reach out and share this with a young person, a young male, a young female, because females are ruthless too. Share it with them and let them know that your life has meaning. There is purpose in your life. And no matter what it is you're doing or whatever it is you're involved in, you don't have to stay there. And so I am so grateful for you. And I thank you so much for being transparent in your story, because sometimes we share our story, but we share just enough to make us not look so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We
Right.
don't want everybody to uncover our dirt. But guess what? When you uncover the dirt, that's healing for you and healing for somebody else.
And that's exactly and I'm gonna wrap. I'm definitely, because I'm getting to the end of it. I want to wrap it up with basically along what you're saying, but I know that the ending of my, not to say the ending of my story, but where I'm at now, the details that I'm sharing with everybody is, it's important for who I am now.
Mm.
It's important. Like I said, I became a man of God, right? And remember I told you I went to prison the second time. So the second time I went to prison, when I came, I actually ended up leaving Jackson because my dad, he just got really sick and I wanted to take care of him. And this is the man that I said I didn't want nothing else to do with because of how he treated me. And I didn't talk to him for years. He never reached out to me. I never reached out to him. But when I heard about it, I went back home because I still wanted to honor my father, because I got to thinking, like, did he really do me wrong, or is it more to the story? And my dad's not a person to share. I don't know much about his life from him. I know it from other people that witness his life. And I don't want that for me.
Mhm.
I don't want nobody to tell my story, because you may not tell it right. God
That's
forbid somebody may, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
You
can't
can't nobody
let
tell
you.
your story like you tell your story.
I
That's
can't
why you
let
have.
you.
That's why it's important. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got like
When I talk to
like
my
7 minutes.
when I talked to my stepmother like a month ago, and and she really broke down the story of the type of man that my father was and how my mother got us, it made so much sense. It made so much sense how um the manipulations and oh, I'm gonna do this or this and that, it's almost like blackmailing him into doing a certain thing, and it was tragic. I feel for him when I never knew that his mother died giving birth to him and his father was never around. Like
Mhm.
I'm wondering why he never talked about his parents or anything like that. I go back to prison because I break my parole because I wasn't supposed to leave Jackson. I
Mhm.
left Jackson to be back with my father. And wrong is wrong. I went back to prison. They made me serve 2.5 years for it. But when I went back, that's when God changed my name from what it was to D Wade the Christian. I messed that name up horribly. Lord, I was everything but a Christian. I came from that name, and I remember specifically when God changed my name the right reasons. The reason was I knew that he was speaking to me to go do stuff in schools, but you always get that speech. You can't push religion onto the kids. So it was hard for me to get into the school. I said, God, give me a name that means everything that I've been through, everything that I do, and everything that I want to do all in one name. That's how I get the right reasons name. He
Mhm.
wanted me to do everything for the right
The right
reasons.
reasons.
He wanted me to
Yes.
the just how he gave me the three and how it's symbolic and how even my spoken word is just so complex, but it's me. It's me. He gave me all of those things. I made amends with my father and I learned how to heal and I learned how to communicate instead of just letting things go and just keeping the bridge burnt. I learned how to rebuild those bridges. Even with my mother, me and her have a communication now where I can talk to her and I'm not speaking from
Place of hurt.
unforgiving place or a bitter place. I can talk to her now. And I just I don't take anything back. I would go back and get a. It's a question that would you rather have a pause button or a rewind button? We all need a pause in our life because we all go through things.
Yeah.
Cool. Life is balanced. Stop asking, stop praying, stop begging God to take these tests and trials from you. Stop it because what you're asking Him to do is to allow you to abort the mission.
Hmm.
You're not passionate about what you're passionate about unless you went through what you went through, and it hurt. You're not unless you were boohoo crying, you fell out and you wanted to give up. You don't have the same passion. I don't speak like this if I don't get beat. I don't
Mhm.
speak like this unless I get jumped. I don't speak like this unless I almost lose my life or want to take my own life. I don't speak like this unless I get shot at. I don't speak like this. The passion is not the same. So I tell you all, be you. Stop trying to be him. Stop trying to be her. Stop trying to be Eric Thomas. Stop trying to be your pastor. Stop trying to be the lady down the street. Stop trying to be LaQuita. Stop trying to be right reasons. Be you. Even if it looks weird, even if it sounds weird, even if it
Did it
looks
feel
crazy because
well?
nobody has done it,
You
do
better
it.
say it. You better
I
say it.
I did my spoken word and I grabbed one of the young men by his coat and I was shaking him while I was doing the spoken word and everybody was just into it because I understand that it's a life or death situation. When I speak, I have to give it to because if somebody leave here and I feel like I didn't get an opportunity to reach them because my delivery was lazy. I wasn't energetic with my message. Oh yeah, I went through this and it was that and now I'm healed. Can I feel it?
No.
Can you allow me to feel it? Can I see what's going on? Make me feel like I was there with you when it was
Exactly.
going on because that's how people move. And sadly to say, we have to be over dramatic just for people to get the point. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be over dramatic. So if when you flick me or pinch me a little bit, ouch! I got the screen ready because
I
that's the only way that
felt
people learn. That's the only way that people learn. And take it. That's for the people that's telling your story. You have to. You have to emphasize it, and you have to allow us to feel it. I'm done. It's so much more to
that.
my story,
We're gonna have
but
to do a part two. We are going to have to do a part
I
two of
don't want to rush it for y'all,
because
man. I just want
I know, and
to.
it's always we're gonna have to do a part two where we have I'm gonna have to have you on. We're gonna have to invite you back to do a part two. Listen, this has been amazing. I hope that the people who are listening, I hope you're taking it to heart. And you know what? I believe, share your story, tell your story. You know, you said something, you didn't know your dad's story until you found it out about by somebody else. I remember I had it was my sister-in-law, and something happened. She killed somebody some years ago, and I never knew. And after about 6 or 7 years, she reached out to me and she said, "Hey, I want to tell my story, and I think you can help me do that." And okay, we set a meeting, we set up a time, and she didn't show up for the meeting. And I said, okay, you know what? It's wasting my time, but I don't have time to be wasting. My time is very valuable. It's very busy. But in my head, I was like, let me reach out to her again. I reached out to her again, right? And she didn't have time to connect. And a couple of days later, she was dead. She died. She complained of a headache, and she went to bed, didn't wake up. She never got a chance to share her story. She never got a chance to say what happened. So there are people who love her and know her and care and have no idea what happened. And that's why you said something that was so important. You want to create your own narrative. You don't want somebody to find your story and they're going to write your story about what they think happened.
Right.
How they think happened. And it's your story. Tell your story. I understand that it's difficult. I understand that it is not easy. I understand that there's some anxiety. I understand that there is some emotions that come up from it. Yes, there is. Do you think every time I tell my story of my walking limitations, how I get emotional? It's emotional because it hurts. My pain story hurts. My deformed legs hurt. I can't walk and run like everybody else. I can't wear shoes like everybody else. You know, that's how I wore mismatched shoes to the bank. I cannot do those things. However, it does not stop me from sharing my story in order to help you share your story. You know what? I will expose myself because vulnerability is not weak. I'll show you my deformed leg. I'll show you my deformed foot. I've been picked out to be picked on. I've been bullied. I've been told, hey, you know what? You can't do this. I'm dealing with difficult people in my business right now, but I'm committed to this. So tell your story and listen. Don't let anybody, somebody has said that, don't let anybody bully you into not telling your story, and be real with it. Be real with it. Tell the truth. Don't fake it. Because if you're not going to be real with it, then why do it in the first place? So um, I am LaQuita Parks. I'm your host. This has been an amazing discussion. This has been, it's just been absolutely amazing. I am grateful for you. I am so honored to know you. And listen, if you have a story, and I know that you do, because 100% of everybody living and dead has a story. If you need help with your story, reach out to me. You can reach me at LaQuita at PayProvi, PAPROVI publishing.com. You can connect with me, visit my website. No matter where you are in your story writing journey, you have a story, don't know how to get started, I can help you get started. You have a story, you started writing and you find yourself stuck, I can help you get unstuck. And hey, you've written your story already, I can help you with that too. We can help you get it published, but we're going to give you some feedback to make sure that you're meeting your message, you're connecting with your audience. This has been
Let me
amazing.
plug myself
And
real
yeah,
quick. I do want to say
please do. You take the
for
last
everybody out there.
2 minutes and go with it.
So yeah, I do photography, y'all. That's what I'm into right now. It's so peaceful for me. Reach out to me on my Facebook page or Instagram at OSnapU or OSnap LLC. Fire. The content is just amazing, y'all, and I would really love y'all support. We don't have to be. I don't have to take photos of you or whatever, but just supporting the content is just amazing for me. I want to thank everybody for just allowing me the opportunity to share this story. LaQuita, thank you for this platform. You're a wonderful host, by the way.
Thank
Just
you.
in on the clubhouse room and here, I love the way that you facilitate and just not allowing anything to stop you. So I just want to take a moment just to honor you from there. Forget everything else, but just want to take an opportunity to honor you because it starts with you. Without you, this who says that the platform is the same. So thank you and thanking enough to bring me here. Also to my fiance.
Yes,
Okay.
we see you, boo.
And
Look
to
at that face.
everybody,
Look at that face.
everybody that's in the comment section, or anybody that was here that played a part in this, you was coming. I can't see everybody. If I would have saw y'all, I promise y'all, I would have showed y'all some love. But for those that are listening, tuning in, or you just out there, man, shout out to y'all. If you stuck out the whole way through, especially, Shout out to y'all, and hopefully this story helps somebody. My name is Right Reasons, for the right reasons in the right season, to show some of y'all you can still spring back after the fall. It's the winter season, and you are the winner. You're the winner.
You're the winner. Listen, it has been a plump, pleasing pleasure. Better than a triple decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I am here every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Connect with me. Until next time, be good. Share your story. Don't be afraid. It's your story. You create the narrative. And until next time, be blessed.
Allow us at Eddie B Productions to capture, create, and celebrate all of your greatest moments. Let us turn your joy into memories that will last forever. As we remember our beloved Eddie Blick Jr., the very reason we do it all, we aim to put a smile on your face and also your heart. Whether a birthday party, wedding planning, organizing an event, or photography, we can service all your needs. You can follow us on Instagram at Eddie B Productions, email us at eddie_productions93@outlook.com, or call us at 410-303-0101 for all your event planning, decoration, fun, and photography needs. We look forward to working with you.